You've arrived at the Tx2Tn Podcast, your home for your favorite independent artists and a couple of guys you've never heard of.
Who?
It was Texas, it was Tennessee. It was what I had coming to me. You were unlike anything.
Hey, folks, did you notice anything different? For the both of you that are here each Tuesday and Wednesday, shout out to Evan Boyer for helping us out with the intro there. I love it. It's great. Well done, Soul Gravy. Thanks, Adam Hood. Appreciate it. Didn't take us long to get an Adam Hood.
That was kind of the inside joke to this whole thing. If many people that have listened to this, you know that Adam comes up a lot on the podcast anyway. So I figured I would just go ahead and put him directly at the beginning.
Yep. Well done.
Just get that over with.
Yep. Very smart. Hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining, folks. We have another special treat for you tonight. Our buddy Tyler Wilson from Warren's Backyard is here. How you doing, Tyler?
Good, guys. Thank y'all for having me.
Heck yeah, man. We're excited to chat with you. We are practiced up. Last week we had our buddy Trevor from the Cowboy out in Laramie. He was, I think, our first venue owner guest. So we should have lots of good questions. If we don't, we apologize. But what we're going to do, maybe to get started, do you mind giving us a little bit of your personal backstory and tell us a little bit about your venue, and then we'll get into some heavy duty questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Warren's Backyard is probably about 800 person cap out here in Granburry, Texas. We're kind of an outdoor venue. We're kind of also a day-to-day bar, but we also do a lot of really, really cool events. As far as like my backstory goes, kind of more so grew up in like South Houston. Moved to Austin, live in Austin for probably the majority of like my childhood and kind of teenage years. A little bit of time at Texas State, hanging out with some of those band guys down there, and man, here we are.
All right, perfect. That's exactly what we wanted. So
I'm sure there's a little bit more that you wanted, but that's a good one right there.
No, that's a fantastic start. I guess maybe how did you know that you wanted to work? I guess in the industry, because I know you have some background being involved in the music industry and working obviously at Warren's. But how did you get into that world?
I mean, it's kind of weird. I was actually a cart guy at a golf course in Austin, Texas. My bosses of this bar were also bosses of one of the bars I worked at in Austin called Armadillo Den, and they asked me if I wanted to be a part and kind of work door for them, make some extra money. And 2.5 years later, I'm moving up to Granburry, kind of helping them out up here. I'd kind of been a part of running some merch for some guys, nothing really too serious. And we were using somebody for booking up here, and I just kind of said, I'll do it. And 3 years later, man, here we are. So, I mean, I'd love to say I have like this heroic story of being in the music industry for forever, but man, it's only been maybe 4 years or so.
Well, things change pretty quickly, at least from what I've figured out so far. I haven't figured out too much, but it seems like there's a lot of change. So very cool. Now, when you first started working at the bar in Austin, was that while you were in school, or had you gotten out of school? Or
I mean, I put a lot of time into college. I spent about 6.5 years doing it, and I never finished it. But yeah, technically I was still in college. And then by the time that we got this place to open, I'd actually dropped out of my last couple of classes that I needed to graduate to come up here and do this.
Nice. In terms of, can you talk a little bit about the San Marcos music scene? Because I'm guessing at some point you were out and about amongst that.
Yeah, man.
I feel like it's kind of an underrated scene.
It's extremely underrated, man. I think Steve, we've talked about like Niles and Cameron and all those guys that are down there, and Hank Weaver, and they're just studs. Like there's just kind of this blossom community of these young guys that are just really, really good songwriters that aren't getting kind of the respect that they need, in my opinion. But in college, man, we were at Cheatham Street every other weekend on a Thursday seeing who was coming through, and I was there in 2019. So like Giovanni and like Dylan Wheeler and like these heavy hitters now we're just playing these acoustic sets on Thursdays. So like really got spoiled while I was in college down there.
For sure. As a reference, Soul Gravy, the last time that we got to sit and chat with Caleb Michael in the van, he was getting ready to play Cheatham
Yeah,
Street.
I
So you
remember.
probably remember that podcast.
I do remember
Yeah.
for several reasons.
Yeah. And then Thomas Babiak is he's from there. He was at the event on
Yeah.
Wednesday as well. So
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of folks. It's interesting because it probably unintentionally gets overshadowed a little bit by Austin and New Braunfels. Obviously, there's folks that live there that play both those scenes, but those scenes are pretty significant on their own. But geographically, it sits right in between those two areas. So, and obviously has the college there as well. So, great scene for sure. I guess I want to know a little bit more about Warren's. I know. I think you said around 800. Is that the cap on the facility?
Yeah, so we've done a couple of shows, a little bit 1,000 plus, and we realized that
Okay.
for the fan experience and the really the efficiency of the venue, 800 to 850 is kind of the number where everybody's having a good time, getting beers on time. And 1,000's fine. We just run out of parking sometimes because Uber's not a thing down here in Granbury. We don't have anything great like that. We just recently got this Get Granbury, and they show up with like Escalades and stuff like that. They're great dudes. They do a lot of good stuff for us, but they're not doing like the mass of what Uber,
Right.
Lyft would do. You know,
I actually found that out. I did not know that Uber did not participate very heavily in Granbury, and found that out by accident one time. So
that sucks. Yeah.
shout out to me. Let's see. So that's an interesting space to be in terms of venue size.
hmm
Is that something that y'all kind of consider a little bit of a competitive advantage? Because there's lots of places that can't hold that many folks. There's a few places that can hold more, but I don't think there's a lot of places that'll hold 800 to 1,000.
Around our part, yeah. I mean, really, what do we think about our venues that could do kind of those numbers? Would be like the Twisted J, which is in Steamville. I'm not too sure what their cap is, but they're doing great stuff over there. Their lineups are awesome every year. But I'm pretty sure they hold probably 900, maybe 1,000, maybe plus. I'm not too sure. And then other than that, really, it's Billy Bob's and then Tannehill's, and that's about it. But I think 800 is a really solid number. I was actually talking to Dustin Massey about it at Stocktober
Yeah. Oh, nice.
about how kind of like that 6 to 800 is like a really good number to have. It's not too much to where they lose kind of the audience a little bit. They can still kind of keep it within realm and kind of engage elites to a degree. And I don't know, I think it's a good number and people are happy. They're getting drinks faster, and that's kind of what makes the show go better, in my opinion, to a degree.
Yeah, I would totally agree. Yeah, so a cool competitive advantage maybe there for you. What are some other things maybe that might make Warren's a little bit unique? And just for reference, Soul Gravy, probably 30 miles ish from Billy Bob's, and Tannehill's is right around the corner from Billy Bob's. So they're
Mm-hmm.
both kind of in that Stockyards area.
Mm-hmm.
About 30 miles, is that about right?
We are 48 and a half.
Oh, okay. So it's more 50 miles. All right.
Yeah. I
It's a good
just know
thing
that
there won't
because of
be
the
geography.
proximity. I just know that because of the proximity rules. That's the only reason I know that.
Yes. Oh, totally makes sense.
Mhm.
But what would be some other things that might give you a little bit of a competitive advantage or differentiate you from other venues?
I think that I mean, it's in the name, right? It's Warren's backyard. It has a very much so backyard feel to it. I mean, there's a big house in the front that was built I mean, they bought the land in 1875. The house in the front was built in 1892. So it really feels like you're in somebody's backyard. I mean, if you can kind of see it, I know that my picture's probably not that great, but the bar in the back is a barn pretty much. And fire pits, gravel, really nice pecan trees, old pecan trees. And I think it really brings the venue side out of it and just brings more of just a very homey feel to it. A competitive advantage, I think that our hospitality side's really good. We treat the bands, we treat them, I mean, everybody who walks through the door, I think really feels at home to a degree. And it's just relax, man. It's nothing too crazy. And we just stick to know what we're good at. So
can you tell me about maybe some of the artists that you've had that folks would maybe kind of immediately recognize? Because I know you've had some killer shows out.
yeah. I was kind of thinking about it today. I was actually in the shower thinking about y'all today, about what I was gonna say to you. But I'm sure I'm not the only one that's ever done
Yeah,
that.
it happens all the time.
Tens and tens.
Man, Jason Boland is probably one of my favorite shows out here. Donnie LaRue, we unfortunately moved that to an offsite because of rain. William Kurt Green, Kevin Fowler. We've got a really, really good next year lined up already. But I mean, we have Mike Ryan, Josh Withers killed it last weekend. Chris Knights played out here. Bob Schneider, Red Shahan, Austin Mead. I mean, we could, go down the list, but I mean, pretty recognizable names in my opinion, guys that I've always listened to growing up. So pretty
Yep.
happy to do stuff like that.
Soul Gravy, a bunch of people we can't get on the show yet, but we're working on. So yeah,
I've got their TM's emails. We can line that up. We got it. Yeah.
All good. I appreciate it. Yeah, I heard. I think from what I heard, Josh. So Josh was this weekend, right? And,
Yes, sir.
Mason, you said opened up for him, which is great. Mason's been on the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember the episode number, but it's in there, folks. If you want to go learn about Mason Lively. So it was sold out too, wasn't it? I think. Yeah. So awesome, man. That's fantastic to hear. All right, Soul Gravy, I've monopolized enough of the first part of the interview, so feel free to fire away.
All right. Well, I was trying to look up when Mason was on, but I wasn't fast enough. What as far as the venue name, where did I understand the the venue is kind of, it is a backyard setting to make it feel homey. Who is Warren?
Yeah. So Mr. Warren White was the first purchaser of this property, and that was in 1875. He's owned this, or his family has owned this for a very, very long time. And they built like I said, the house in 1895, and then they kind of use it kind of as almost like an Airbnb to a degree for a couple of years, and then the family also lived into it. I said Airbnb, it was in the early 1900s, but I mean, however you want to call that, a halfway house, whatever you want to call it. And he just had the space for a while, and then so my bosses in Austin, or my big boss in Austin, his family lived next door for 5 or 6 years, and then after Warren passed away, they decided to turn into a wedding venue. And then kind of COVID hit. That kind of venture goes down the drain when stuff like that happens. And we decided to turn this thing into kind of a bar, ice house, music venue about 4 years after that.
Gotcha. So when you came into this, it was more of the bar, just the venue in general. But then when you started adding all those names that you were talking about, already being a fan of, I'm sure that's got to be cool to to go from seeing these people in college and wherever to actually hosting them.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like by the time that I had decided to take the job, I mean the bar top wasn't even laid yet. And so
Okay.
I got here maybe a week before, 2 weeks before we tried to open. And I remember sitting at this bar top that was being built and just writing down names of guys that I wanted to have out here. And I still have the list to this day, and I'm still crossing them off. And that starts from Co Wetzel to, Tiller McCall to Freed Southall. And yeah, I still have it hanging up, and it's not hanging up in my room. It's actually probably in a box somewhere now. But yeah, it's awesome to do some of these shows out here and listen to the music come through our speakers.
I'm sure there's a romantic side to that too, as far
For
as
sure.
standing in so many, in so many crowds watching those shows, and all of a sudden you get to probably not enjoy the music as much because you're running around like crazy or whatever.
No.
But
Yeah.
still, it's I'm sure there's like musicians have those moments where they're like, how the hell did I get to this point? How did I end up in this room? You've probably had some of those moments as well, just with artists and just situations you find yourself in with folks that you've kind of looked up to in a way.
Absolutely. I mean, I remember I told some of the guys when Jason Bowen played Comal County Blues, and that's been one of my favorite songs for a very, very long time. I mean, if you know the song really well, I grew up going to Riley's Tavern a bunch in college, and I was like, everybody's got to leave me alone for 3.5 minutes, and then I'll get back to work. And I sat there outside and listened to that song like everybody else did, and jumped back into it after.
Well, so far we're using a different program than we normally do tonight, so far so good. Don't want to jinx it, but uh, Roy he commented and said such a great venue, and also just happens to be one of the coolest towns in Texas. So shout out to Roy. He was at the Stocktober too. I didn't get to talk to him, but we were running around all night. I felt like I was a venue
Yeah.
person that night. But yeah. So before you kind of got into the situation that you're in now, what would be some of the, I guess, things that would be like a surprise to you that you didn't expect that you have to deal with now that you didn't know you would have to?
I mean, the whole thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I'd kind of taken this more as like a bar manager kind of thing. And I don't know, just some of the guys that I meet, kind of like the Roger Craigers and like people that, your parents grew up listening to on the radio, and I'm shaking hands with them, writing them a check at the end of the night. Stuff like that's a little surreal sometimes. And they're not, movie stars, they're regular people, just like us three talking right now. And I don't know, there's just so many kinks inside of music and the music industry that I think 99.5% of the world has no idea about, besides probably people like us three. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a better answer for that one,
No, that's
but
okay. That's all right.
yeah,
Um,
a lot of it is the real answer to that.
Yeah.
I imagine there's a lot of things that you could talk about that the independent artist would have a story that would line up. You know what I mean? It's the
For
same.
sure.
It's the same thing. That I'm sure you would have some good conversations if time allowed that. So, all right. One of the other things that I was going to ask, as far as well, Steve, you got another one. I'm
I
going to
do.
rephrase this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, you're good. Tyler, how many folks does it take to run your?
Oof. Like on a sold out show or just kind of like a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, more on a day to. I mean,
Yeah.
well, what can it expand to, and what is it? On a typical day.
Man, we can run this thing with, I mean, the whole team that we have are just awesome. We've got really good high school kids that come and work for us that just could run through a wall for you if you wanted them to. But on like a really, really like sold out night, we're looking at probably 8 to 9.
Okay,
And then on kind of a regular Saturday, we're looking at five, probably 5 to 6.
gotcha. Do you recruitment of people, whether it's a sound person or whether it's a bar back or whether it's a bartender or security or whatever? I'm sure there are probably folks that do multiple roles. Um, any special tricks that you have or things that you've learned in terms of finding the right people?
I mean, it's an easy sell for a lot of people, right? It's like, okay, do you like these three things? Do you like music? Do you like to pet dogs sometimes? And then do you like to talk to chicks? And that'll sell any high school kid between Fort Worth and Houston. I mean, you know what I mean? And it's just it's not a hard job that we're asking out of a lot of them. We have a pretty easy bar to run. We're not making Negronis, we're not doing high end cocktails, we're serving fast drinks and we're making people happy. So if I'm talking to a bartender that wants to work here, it's like, can you pour a beer and admit that you kind of messed up, and then also make the customer happy? Because that's what really matters, right? At the end of the day. So yeah, it's not science, man. It's just picking the right people that have the right head on their shoulders.
I'm sure if they don't pet dogs, I mean that's a good filter right there, right?
If you don't like
If
dogs, man, I mean, there's just something
it's
else wrong
already
with
a
you,
red
brother.
flag,
I feel like
right?
that should be on every job application. Do you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Yeah,
dogs?
that should be.
No, all
Just
right, you're
just
out.
let a little dog walk into the interview and see what happens, and
Yeah,
you weeded out some folks.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. And
Um,
it's probably every high school kid's dream is to work at a really cool venue. I would assume if I would have had that job in high school, I would have done it for sure. But nobody asked me to do something like
Nobody
that.
offered. Yeah.
No, I was
Um,
I was moving sheetrock.
there you go. Well, it made you appreciate this job, I'm sure.
Yes, sir.
Um, a typical day for you, and Soul Gravy touched on this from a couple of weeks ago when we were trying to figure out how to just be responsible for the event that we had going on. But can you walk us through, what a typical day looks like for you, or is there no typical day, or
I mean, they're all kind of different, man. I believe in like a very true statement that if you get there early to make sure everything doesn't screw up, it won't screw up. Especially like if we're looking at a big show day, like for Josh Weathers, we're doing probably a 2 o'clock load in, maybe somewhere around there, maybe 1 o'clock load in. I'll get there at 11, make sure that all of his rider stuff is ready to go, make sure that all my, even like from point of sales to cash to making sure that the bathroom lights work, or, X, Y, and Z. Um, it kind of calms my anxiety a little bit because like big days like that kind of stress me out a little bit. But once it's done and you have your beer at the end of it, man, it's all gravy after that, man. And everybody's
nobody?
happy and everybody's slapping high fives.
Yeah, nobody was there to hand me a beer the other night. I'm a little disappointed
Were
about
you
that.
there? Were you there for Weathers?
No, no, I was
Oh,
talking about our little thing that we had going on, but
man, y'all did
I
a great
wanted to
job
be
with
there
that.
for it. No, I wanted to be at Josh's deal, but I had something going on. So, but yeah, definitely coming out soon. So,
I figured out that whenever I talk about this October event, that I need to turn my reverb up on my mixer, so it
yes,
has more
you should
monster
add
truck stuff. You know,
right,
yeah,
definitely.
like the
Uh,
Stocktober. Yeah.
well,
Yeah, there you go. That's
yeah.
good.
Uh, since we've already bothered Evan with the intro, I think there's a decent chance that he might get asked for a second
Okay.
thing
Yeah.
for next year. So,
Gotcha.
anyway, I want to know if you could change maybe one thing about the industry. So, this is kind of a 30,000-foot view question, but everybody has. Um, I don't know. I feel like maybe from time to time, people that come on this podcast will shed some light about a little bit of the behind the scenes or behind the curtain or whatever you want to call it about the industry. But if there's something that you could change from a venue side, what would you change?
Mm. So, just so I'm getting the question right, kind of like what a venue as a whole change?
Yeah, or just in the industry, what things would you like to see done differently or handled differently from the venue side, or I mean, it could be from the artist side as well, or from the fan side. I mean, it just depends how you want to answer it.
Yeah. I would say that, and this has never happened before I put this out there. Um, I feel like sometimes that venues and bookers in general, talent buyers, whatever you want to call them, kind of get looked at as the bad guy at the end of the day. If the deal comes out a little bit south than what they wanted, and it's kind of like I try and talk to the artists as much as I can, or the tour managers, that it's like, look, man, I want you to make as much money as you can, and I want us to make as much money as we can. And I have no intentions of screwing anybody over at any given time. That's not what we're here for. Because, if I sign a deal with somebody, I want them to be happy and come back and play again. Because let's say X person talks to Y person about the show and they hate it, and the one that kills, 2 or 3 shows that I could possibly get down the road. So something that I take very much pride in is like making sure that the artists are as taken care of as they can be, as to my ability, and we make sure everything is as black and white as possible.
Makes sense.
I don't know if that really answered the question, but that was the best way I could go about it.
Well, it did get me to the next one. So
Okay,
I guess
perfect.
the next question is, how often does someone come through and maybe, I don't want to say, let's just say maybe they underperformed what they expected or maybe what you expected on their first time through, but the second time through ends up being better. Does that
Mhm.
second time even happen, or what does that look like?
So, I mean, I had this conversation with a lot of the guys that we pull up from Austin, San Marcos, New Braunfels, not in the area of DFW pretty much. And we pull a lot of them because I can kind of route them up from our bars in Austin. And it's like, look, man, Mason Live was a great example. Um, the first time he played out here, I think he might have sold 10 pre-sale tickets.
Gotcha.
And then the next time he sold maybe 30. And then now I get him in front of Josh Weathers. He just gained 60, 70, maybe 80 fans. So it's like you just kind of have to build that crowd a little bit. And Granbury's a tough one to get into because they know who they like, and it's tough to get somebody in the door up here for sure.
Well, and it's also a situation where there isn't a shortage of artists that
Hmm.
are here locally.
For
When I
sure.
say here locally, in the DFW area. So,
So
uh,
many of them. Yeah.
yep, for sure. Okay. Do you have any? I don't know if you'd call it mentors or maybe folks that are in the business on your side of the business that you look to for advice, or somebody that you maybe it's been down the road a little further, and just somebody you can lean on from time to time.
Yeah, for sure. So my main boss, which is the son of my landlords, he's the owner of this bar and all the bars in Austin. He ran a really good venue in downtown Austin for a while, and they had some really, really good names run through there. And when I get some emails that slide across my table, I always send them to him. Like, does this make sense? Does it not make sense? And I really try not to bother him as much as possible. Um, Will Green has spoken some really short sentences that meant a lot to me, uh, kind of about what we need to do out here. Uh, but I'm not taking credit at all for what I've done out here. I mean, I've had a ton of help from a bunch of different sides,
Yeah.
and
Well, you
even like music guys for sure. Like just independent guys. Like, well, what do you think about this, and what makes sense? So,
Yep. Well, you should take credit, at least some credit. And also, Will makes a living off of very short lines.
yeah,
So shout out to
hmm
Will.
he's a great
All right.
dude, man.
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Go ahead.
what I was trying to decide how to ask it earlier, like I'm sure Steve knows, some of this answer, and of course you do, but I don't, and I'm sure a lot of other music fans don't. How does we talked about people playing the venue? Typically, how does a person get to that point? How do you get from where does the conversation start? And I mean, you don't have to name names or whatever, but just typically, how does it go from to actually getting on your stage?
Yeah. Um, we have been very lucky in the past probably year and a half to where I'm not reaching out to a ton of guys. If I want to show, I can, if I've got to go through CAA or WME or TKO or whoever, like, yeah, I reach out for that kind of stuff. But I've got a really good email that people are blowing up every day, and people have gone about it several ways. I don't think that showing up to the bar on a Saturday night at like 10 o'clock, asking to play some music is the best way to go about it personally. I would just come on a slow day and ask for my name, ask for an email, ask for a phone number, and asked me to come see a show. If you're playing somewhere locally that I can come see you, like, yeah, I'll come see you, man. I go to quite a few shows. If I'm off, I can come see them. But I'm not gonna say that I have kind of like the main base of guys because I never want to be the bar who does residencies or anything like that. And so I'm always cycling in new people. But yeah, I guess the best way to go would be about emailing and emailing, email me again, and then email me a fourth, maybe fifth time. And if I see your name pop up 5 times on my email, I mean that you care a little bit. So yeah.
So as far as a fan standpoint, when they're going to come to those shows, that's, I mean, really, that's as simple as it gets. As far as, well, I mean, I know that once you reach a certain level of artist, you're going through their management and things like that. But
Mhm.
but a lot of people, it really is as simple as making that connection and getting you on the books, like
Well, I mean,
a dive bar would be.
yeah, to a degree, man. I mean, we get a lot of, hey, my brother Joe
Oh, I understand.
plays the guitar in his garage sometimes on Tuesdays with his buddy Tom, and we do karaoke on Wednesdays too, but we'd love to play at your venue on a Saturday night in the spring. And it's like,
Yeah.
um, put an EPK together and let me know how it looks, brother. And I'll never cancel anybody out of a show, brother. I mean, but I need something solid to look at. This, I guess, is the best way to put that.
Well, because there's, like you said, there's so much noise. Uh, I guess I'm just trying to explain, let people know that when they come
Mhm.
see Mason Lively at your venue, how he got there, and
Yeah, for sure.
I know there's no one certain kind of way for that to happen. There's a bunch of different ways, but it is nice to know that it is. I know that you got to sort through those emails and finally be able to make those connections, but it is still an organic way of getting in touch with these people, which
Mhm.
is cool.
Can
And
I?
I think, yeah, absolutely. Go.
I just want to ask a follow up on that. So I understand that venues get bombarded with emails and text, Facebook messages and Instagram messages and Snapchats and TikToks and all that. And that's a huge, I mean, we can talk about that maybe a little bit later, but that can be tricky just to manage the incoming, and responding is tricky. And you can't say yes to everybody, obviously. Um, would you have a rough guess on this might be too inside, but would you have a rough guess on the percentage of emails that end up turning into actual shows?
Um, I think that this is a good number comparatively to maybe some other venues because I have friends at other venues that do the same thing. Probably 15%
Okay, that's,
to
I mean,
20%.
yeah, to me that's pretty high. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And
that
it's like
gives hope.
it does give hope. But I mean, those are guys that are giving me like a really good email. And I think that's kind of where people don't really understand sometimes what that looks like on our side. You can't just be like, my name is Tyler and I play music and I would love to play at
Yes,
your venue. It's
right.
like send me a YouTube video of your last live performance, an EPK, what your pricing looks like, how many pieces you are, your availability, X, Y, and Z. And every time I get an email that says, "Hey, my name is Tyler, I play music," I say, "Hey, brother, please send, these things." So I give them the chance to at least give me something. And then if they don't come back with anything, then,
Yeah, you've
we did
done.
our job.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I
Hmm.
mean, there is a little bit of education there, and sometimes, at least from the artist side, we want to give the venue what it is that they want. And I'm sure you're getting a ton of, with the booking situation, you're probably getting a ton of folks that, it's the artist sending you the message, which may not be their sweet spot. I mean, there are some artists that are great at booking, but it's probably not their favorite thing to do, right? Sure. Yeah. So I appreciate you taking time to share kind of what it is that you are looking for, and hopefully we can help spread that message a little bit so you can get what it is that you want.
You can also
I mean,
ask if they like to pet dogs or not too. Would be
Right.
there you go.
Also,
yeah.
Yeah, then you're in the door.
1A.
Yeah.
Put
I
that
think
in
a
the
really good
EPK
way,
guys and the artist.
I pet dogs.
It's going to be my title next time.
A lot of guys have gotten in here just from reference of guys that have played here.
Okay.
That's a really good way to go about it too. Like if, some dude's constantly playing here like a Mason or, a Niles or something like that, and I trust those guys' brains a little bit, and they say, hey, XYZ told me to hit you up. That's a good way to go about it too.
That is fantastic advice. Well, I know it feels like you've been on here for 3 hours, but it's
No,
been
brother.
35 minutes, 36 minutes. We cannot do the show without doing Why Are They Famous, Willis, Texas.
This is the best part right here.
Yeah, well, it's my favorite. I also think it's Soul Gravy's favorite, and according to our viewers, it's their favorite. So, Soul Gravy, are you ready?
Just getting a
He's
little
going to act
choppy
like
for me.
internet,
Hopefully, I can hear it.
his internet isn't working. It's very
Can
convenient.
you hear me
sir.
now?
I can.
Okay. I was just
So,
gonna. You did say Willis, Texas, right?
I did say Willis.
Okay. Because now
Willis
all
is
I can
in.
think about is what you talking about, Willis. So
Sadly, he's not from there. The Willis is in Montgomery County. Do you remember who else was from Montgomery County that we had on recently?
no,
Texas geography question for you.
no, I don't remember.
Josh Ward,
Okay.
who we just had on, I want to say within the last 10 episodes.
With all the little Debbies.
He likes all the little Debbies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right,
for
right.
sure. City began to develop in 1870 after what is now the Union Pacific Railroad built a track through the area. It has a population, according to the 2020 census, of about 7,000 people. So shout out to Willis. That is Tyler's hometown. I'm going to ask you about some folks from Willis. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right.
All right.
7,000 probably made you nervous, didn't it?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It
does matter.
The
But, all right,
chances are not great. So.
Well, we'll see.
Mhm.
First up is Michael Bishop.
I'm not sure if I'm familiar with Mike.
Mike played quarterback at Kansas State University, also played quarterback in the NFL for the Patriots and somebody else I can't remember. But he was...
About what time period is this?
This would have been the early 2000s.
Okay.
He was on the Kansas State team that almost went to the national championship.
So he was behind. So I can't ever.
He would have been there at the same time as Darren Sproles.
Okay.
That help? Yep. All right. Jesse Hollins.
I don't think I'm familiar.
Jesse Hollins was a Major League Baseball pitcher.
Okay.
He played for the Phillies, I believe. I could be wrong on that. We'll have to check with the intern on that. He played. This can't. Oh, dang! He was born in '70 and passed in 2009. I didn't know he's not with us anymore. Salute, Mr. Hollins.
Huh?
All right, this one you got a chance.
Okay.
Marcus Luttrell.
Man, that name sounds really familiar.
No,
But I can't remember why. I think he's a football player. No,
He might have played football. I mean,
I'm sure he did.
Partial credit on that.
I watched his little league games.
Yeah. Marcus is maybe one of the most famous Navy SEALs of all time.
Okay.
So
Gotcha.
he's a lone survivor guy, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen that movie, Soul Gravy? Okay. Yep, that was about him. How about Cliff Young?
I think I feel worse by not getting the Navy SEAL guy just because out of respect.
These things happen.
Anyway, I'm not familiar.
He also was a professional left-handed pitcher.
Okay.
Yep. And then, you know what? Because I care, I'm going to give you another shot at some folks from Granburry. That's the home of Warrens. I feel like this would be appropriate. I'm going to give you an audio clue for this first one.
Okay.
If you're feeling it.
No.
No, you're not? Okay.
But we'll go anyway.
We're going to say he's from Granbury. He lives close to Granbury.
Okay.
Here you go. Hold on. I got to put that on because we've got volume on the YouTube. Sorry. Hang tight 1 second, folks. That was a production error on my part.
Interns. Jeez. Can't get any good free help these days. It's not coming through on my end.
It's not?
Oh,
that's disappointing.
You're going to have to sing it.
Yep, that's not going to happen.
Acapella.
That was Mike Ryan.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Former guest.
Mm-hmm.
Also, another former guest from the greater Granbury area, David Adam Burns.
Okay.
Shout out to David.
David at Starktober.
You did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. That was fun. How about
and Mike was another guest that did the podcast from his truck.
Yes, he did. And
Nice.
he also did he also did one with our friend Patrick from the Fire Pit.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool. Yeah. All right, that's it for Granbury.
Okay.
I've already asked you these before, so it's not really fair. But Tyler, thanks for putting up with us. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I feel like my Memphis Grizzlies.
Well, I thought that you were going to pull out Parker from Conroe was going to be definitely one of those questions, but
yeah. How far is Conroe from Willis?
I don't know, 25, 30 minutes maybe.
Okay,
it's about the next closest town.
We could have gone that.
But that's all right.
Not to.
Would have been easy. Too easy though.
Yeah, that probably would have been too easy.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, if you're around on the 31st, come see Parker McCollum at Dickey's. It's just a different size venue, but he'll be playing there. All right, so let's see. I want to know, Tyler, what's the most important lesson that you've learned so far?
Don't be an asshole.
Okay.
Yeah, just all the way through, man. Whether it's a customer, it's a musician, it's a tour manager, it's a booking manager. It's just, man, just be nice and don't necessarily bend the knee, but just there's no reason to be mean to anybody out here, man.
Yeah, I mean,
we're all out here for the same purpose.
That sounds like great advice. I will do my best to not do that. I am curious how you go about.
Shit.
It's just a good life lesson too. I know. I think about it every morning when I wake up. It's like, let's just not be an asshole today, and usually works out.
It sounds like a Cody Canada video, Instagram post. Really, I mean, it's what
it does.
Yeah, which is
also, Cody, if you're out there, we're available. So we've been trying.
We're both available, actually.
Yeah, funny enough.
I will not be called Soul Gravy on that episode.
Oh, you 100% are going to be called Soul Gravy.
Well, whatever. They know anyway, I'm sure.
Yeah, all right. What about, I want to know, you even kind of mentioned how you have to juggle a lot of different things. How do you go about just figuring out how to manage your time? Because being responsible for a lot of different things at one time can be kind of tricky. So what are your tips?
Man, I try and allocate hours a day to certain things. One thing that I have to do every day is go to the gym, and that's where I put my phone on D&D, and I get to think about all the things that I need to get done that day with kind of a clear mind. Monday mornings, I allocate probably 2 or 3 hours to just emails and making sure that my schedule, my calendar's right, making sure my sound guy is lined up on the shows for the next 2 weeks, and the details are right on the calendar, because sometimes I'll throw a show up there and just say, Dave Adam Burns, October 5th, and then put nothing under it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Making sure that we have openers set up or support set up. I've got a really good partner up here, business partner, and we juggle things very well. He kind of handles things that I don't want to deal with, and I handle things that he doesn't want to deal with. So we have a really good yin and yang there. and makes my life a lot easier. And then I usually give myself usually like half of a day to a couple of days and a half off to where I just go play golf, drink a couple beers, and then, just be a 27-year-old. And that doesn't mean that work doesn't get in the way of that, but I like to just give myself that time.
Yeah, it's important.
I think music booking gets some people draw it up to be like extremely hard, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you shoot that email off, you're probably not going to hear anything back for at least a day or two. So there's no reason to sit there behind your computer for 7 hours a day. Uh, I don't know. I just kind of live and breathe it, to be honest with you. If things come up, you just deal with it as they come.
Yep,
But
that's
yeah,
great.
I do allocate time for certain things, but I'm not clocked in Monday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. or something crazy like that when we're closed.
Well, I think having that balance is, we've talked at length with different artists about mental health and just making space for things that, you know, make the job enjoyable.
Hmm.
So that's a great answer. Social media, I do want to talk about. I've actually a couple questions, and Soul Gravy, I'll hand it to you, and then we'll get into a little rapid fire and a strong finish. Um, but social media, y'all do a great job. I've been paying attention since we connected. How do you go about kind of managing that? Is that something that you're doing solely, or do you get help with that? And what do you view the venue's responsibility in terms of social media for shows?
So I don't deal with it because if I dealt with it, our social media would be terrible. I think somebody might have saw that video that I posted or had made for the Josh Weathers show, and it took me about 55 takes to make a 10-second video.
That was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I could go down my camera roll right now and show you all the bad takes on it. But I've got a really good social media team that I send them pretty much the ad mat, and I tell them this is the date, these are the times, this is the support, and then they'll send me something back. I'll say yay or nay. And as far as like concert graphics go, that's about it. Um, Day-to-day stuff, and then we need to do a better job about getting our faces in the camera and kind of explaining things to people. I think Billy Bob just does a really good job about it,
They did.
which is they do like the know before you go thing to where the thing that when we do big shows, we'll get calls out of the wazoo about, can I bring chairs? Can I bring my dog? Is this 21 and up? And it's like, it was all on the ticket link, but yeah, we need to just have more kind of I guess what's the word I'm looking for? A
Strategy, or
strategy or directional kind of post that just kind of explains what's going on shows like that. Because if it's, just kind of like a weekend gigger, we're not expecting, 600, 700 people. Dogs are great, and maybe we could let the 21 and up curfew go a little bit. But when it's Mike Ryan or Josh Weathers or Jared Morris or The Great Divide coming on, like, hey man, this is gonna be a busy show. Like, we're gonna be pros about it. And
yep. And then specifically, do you have preferred? Well, first off, I should ask if somebody wanted to follow along the journey. Where would they follow you all at, and on which platforms, and uh, what's your tagline?
I think that, I mean, Facebook and Instagram are two kind of strong suits right now. If you see something on Facebook, you're going to see it on Instagram,
Okay,
vice versa.
right.
They're both Warren's backyard. Um, you can get our October schedule now. You'll get your November calendar posted probably tomorrow. Um, Then we have like our fall lineup, including pretty much all of our ticketed bigger shows, pretty much all of our shows going out till December through January, actually, at the moment. So
Okay, great. And then are we on TikTok, Snapchat, or what else? Twitter, X, sorry.
I've been told I should get on TikTok, and maybe that's a 2026 venture. We'll let you know. But as for now, we're off of TikTok. and Snapchat, unless you want to follow me personally, which you don't want to do.
Okay.
You're not going to get anything out of it.
I just like following where people are on
Yeah,
Snapchat.
for
The
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
little heads, the moving
I'll
floating
add
heads.
you after we get off of this. I got you,
All right,
brother.
cool. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out how to use mine. So, I did have a venue tell me not too long ago that they wanted me to message them on Snapchat. I'm like, what?
That's crazy.
Which is
Yeah.
kind of wild. Yeah, I won't divulge who they were, but whatever. You can probably figure it out. So I did have one more question before I float it back to Soul Gravy, but I forgot what it was. So I'm going to go ahead and float it back to Soul Gravy right now.
Okay.
I can relate to what you were talking about as far as needing to make more videos and put a face with the product. In our case, it would be the podcast or my stuff in general that I definitely need to do more of. Because I always think about the podcast as being the person like the people that we're having on. I don't think about myself or necessarily Talbot as being the one to. I think about the guest as the one we need to advertise. But it also, I think, I can see where having that the common face or whatever to go along with those things would actually, make everything more relatable. Like you kind of know somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see where that would even we talk to artists that they can't stand doing social media, but the way I try to describe it is like, hey, name your favorite artist when you're growing up, and now imagine that you could kind of get to know them a little bit through social media. Like you would absolutely love it,
For sure.
So
And I think that because, it's a bar, right? So we're open Thursday through Sunday. And if you see my face on a post, you're going to see my face 4 days out of the one that you might see Mike Ryan's face or, X, Y, and Z on that one Saturday. So it's kind of like good to build that relationship with the customer because they might come in and have like a couple drinks on a Sunday afternoon, and be like, hey, we saw you on that post. And I think that's more gratifying and makes them feel like it's more of a personal connection, vice versa, a beer exchange, whatever you want to call it. Here's your Coors Light and have a good day. But they heard some words come out of your mouth and they saw your face and, you cared a little bit. So, yeah, I do think that helps a ton.
I'm sure it helps to get some feedback on that too. We talk about
Yeah,
that with the artist. They make a video and it takes we jokingly say they get tens and tens of views, and sometimes that is true, but it's not. I'm sure they enjoy it when their work gets some reward from it. So
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, and we're just here to push their stuff too. That's what we're here for. But yeah.
So I don't know if this is one of your rapid fires that you were going to go to or not, but I'm curious. We know all we can go back and look through the lineups and everything. But what's some music that would be on your? I don't guess it's a Spotify Wrapped yet, but who would be some of your top listen to artists?
Like this year of all time?
Or just recently, whatever you want.
Yeah, who you getting now?
Man, big Guy Clark guy. The Dublin Blues album is probably one of my favorites of all time.
That's a good one.
Also, after the kind of resurface of the Reed Southall album that they redid recently, that was like my senior year, freshman year of college, senior high school, freshman year of college album. That was in the truck wherever we went to. So I've been rejamming that quite a bit. Sturgill. Old. I like New Bingham too, but the Mescalito album is definitely up there. And then Taylor McCall, which is a guy, if y'all don't know who that is, it's a look up. He's kind of like a South Carolina, North Carolina guy, I believe. But
Yeah, somewhere on the coast. Yeah.
somewhere up there. But I don't know how I found him. I think he just slid across a Spotify playlist one day and I jam him. Wish I could have him out here. Wish he would sell a million tickets out here because I'd have him.
Yep. Very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I do have a couple questions before we get to rapid fire. We're going to keep you just a hair over an hour. So
It's okay, brother. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be
complain
great.
to the management. But
I'm not clocked in right
The
now. We're on
HR
that.
department.
yeah,
I
for
am the
sure.
HR.
Same.
You described the venue as an outdoor venue, but I also know that you have a pretty sweet setup for indoor in case the weather does. I mean, the weather's pretty awesome here in Texas, but occasionally it gets
Mhm.
a bit chilly. So, tell us a little bit about the indoor setup.
Yeah, probably the coolest show, in my opinion, that we've had here. We got to do Chris Night inside, and still think about it to this day. But the only kind of downside to stuff like that is I get capped out at like 280. And so for guys with like a big guarantee or like a big versus deal, it's not super sexy. So I get not doing that. The sound sounds really good if we're just doing acoustic. If you throw some drums behind it, it's a 10 wall building and it just bounces and it's just
Yeah,
too
not
much
impressive.
sometimes.
Yeah,
And we got to do Stunny LaRue because we had a big rain out that weekend as well. We moved him to an offsite location where we can fit 15 to 1600 people. It's kind of like a 4-H barn, and it went really well. The only complaint was that it was hot. I mean, it was in June, I think, or July, one of the two. But yeah, I mean, the inside's very romantic. We can make it kind of into a songwritery kind of night kind of thing, which is
yep.
cool.
So, folks, here's your clue. If it gets cold, just march yourself over to Warren's on one of those cold Friday, Saturday nights, and you might get a little bit of a surprise. You get one of
Yeah,
those intimate shows that you weren't anticipating.
yeah. We got a fireplace. I mean, we've got pay, plenty of heaters in here, so it stays. If it's 40 degrees outside, it'll stay at least 70 or something like that in here.
Perfect. And then my other question was, I didn't notice this till I think last week I was looking, and I saw that you have some tribute bands that are going to be there.
Mhm.
So that's a whole different world. I just want to know anything that you can share about, um, I don't know, booking or deciding on who you're going to have. Obviously, from looking at your list, it's probably 80-90% original artists, but from time to time, looks
Mhm.
like you'll have a tribute band. So any kind of thought process on that?
I've got a good story if y'all want to hear it. Um,
Absolutely.
so it was June. We had Jason Boland the weekend before, and then we had Sony LaRue the weekend after, and then we had the Turnpike tribute to Doors,
That's right.
and we sold it out
Amazing.
because people thought that they were seeing the Turnpike Troubadours for a $15 ticket at Warren's backyard.
Surprised I didn't show up for that.
I mean, they were great. Once you give a cup, once you give them like a bucket of beer and they listen to a couple songs, they don't really know the difference. You know what I mean? But I couldn't believe it, and I was talking to the tour manager of those guys, and man, he's a great dude. He's got like a stable. He's got like a cross Canadian tribute. He's got like a George Strait tribute. He's got like, man, throughout the board, 4 or 5 different genres of tributes. And he's like, man, this happens all the time. People think because their marketing is so on par for a normal Turnpike show. Yeah, so we had, I don't know, I think we sold close to, we didn't sell it out, but we got pretty close for this tribute band show. People were kind of up in arms about it for a while, but it was like at the end of the day, man, this is $15 to get in here
Right.
to see this thing.
Virtually free, right?
And we're just at the bar, just giggling and laughing about it. And I'm not over here to. We put all the verbiage that we needed to put on all the posts and explained it. I posted a video. Hey guys, this is not Evan Felker. This is this is what I mean. And
This
but it was one of
this is Devin.
the.
Devin
This is
Felker.
Manny.
Right.
Yeah, yeah, Manny Felker. Yeah. But Manny's a great dude, and yeah, they played a great show. People were happy by the end of it, and we'll book them again next year. I don't necessarily try and do a bunch of cover bands, but in towns like this, they make a lot of sense because every now and then somebody wants to see like a 90s hair band cover and they just lose their minds over it, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing. All right, cool. Thank you for. Yeah.
I'm curious if the Ragweed tribute band gets tired of playing Boys from Oklahoma also.
They didn't play it.
Fair enough.
They didn't. They
To,
didn't
to
play it,
Cody's
man, which is
credit,
the weirdest.
even with him in The Departed, every time I've ever seen him, he has made them wait, but he always played it. So
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's go into some rapid fire because this is always fun, I think. Well, it's fun for me. All right. I can't ask you that because you're too young.
yeah,
All right. What would you be doing if you weren't doing this? Like professionally, what would you be doing?
Man, I think I'd be building golf courses.
Oh, very
Yeah.
cool.
I kind of towards the end of my long college career, I kind of took some horticulture classes and wanted to get into designing golf courses. I worked in golf for 3 years before I did this, and but yeah, that's probably what I'd be at least trying to do.
Wow, that's impressive. All right.
hmm
So we have a regular Pete Dye here with us. So
I wouldn't
shout
say
out.
that. No.
Shout out to Pete Dye. Don't get to reference him very often on the podcast. Dinner with one historical figure. I want to know who you're going to eat with and what you're going to eat.
Boy.
The what you're going to eat is the easier part of the question, probably.
Probably going gumbo. It's a good conversation piece. Uh, and this is dead or alive.
Either one. Yeah, your choice.
Ooh,
I
ooh,
mean, it makes it a little broader, but
man, that's a really tough one. I'd probably do gumbo with like Brent Cobb.
oh, damn.
That's kind of an off the wall one, but
No, that'd be great.
uh,
uh, I caught it. I got what you were
Yeah.
saying. All
Yep.
right.
That's a great answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So
good gumbo, of course. Brown roux, of course.
yeah, for sure. All
Yeah.
right. Tell us about your green room.
Man, that's a touchy subject at the moment.
Okay,
My
not a good question.
we're in the process of putting it together right now. We're only in
Okay.
year 3, but we're doing it.
So what's going into the revamped green room?
We're taking out, so we kind of have like a side room, or I guess kind of like a storage shed, whatever you want to call it. It'll kind of be more of like a pergola kind of situation,
Okay,
but it'll be kind of like walled in. And we'll put probably some really nice AstroTurf, the finest AstroTurf that you can find in Granbury.
solid.
Um,
All weather.
something like that. And maybe a TV, maybe like a little air conditioning. We'll see.
Okay, nice. All right.
We'll
Well,
see how long the check runs. Yeah.
if you want any general feedback on what people want, there's 160 episodes with that question, and
Perfect.
Yeah.
they can help fill in, like at least from the artist perspective, what they're looking for. But I'm sure any effort there is greatly appreciated.
hmm
First concert you attended, first concert that you paid to go see.
First concert I attended, man, I'm not even trying to sound, I think it was like Alan Jackson
Oh, right out of the gate.
for, I think Jason Aldean opened up for him at like the, what's the deal in Austin? I think it was a Moody Center.
Oh, okay.
And this was,
Right.
man, and
Like the old
I
movie
was
theater. Yeah.
'07, maybe '06.
Yeah, that was good
And
good LD.
I was young, young.
Yeah.
And then the first ticket I
Good.
think I ever bought was, man, I saw debatably, I think still the coolest concert. I paid like $15 to see Tyler Childers at Green Hall.
Oh, hello.
I
It
think that
wasn't
was in,
a Tyler Childers cover band.
no, it wasn't Tyler Childress. It was Tyler Childers.
All right,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
All
That
right.
was 2019, maybe 2018. I was fresh out of high school.
Oh, man, that sounds amazing. All right, where's one venue that you would like to go? Maybe that you haven't had the chance to see a show at yet.
Red Rocks for sure.
Okay, that's a great answer. And then my last question. I feel like I can't ask you the tribute band question now. So, um, oh, do you have any sponsors you want to shout out? Any folks that help you do what you do at the venue?
No, not really.
Okay, well, folks, there's
Yeah,
an opportunity.
sorry guys.
He's
No, no,
If
that's good.
somebody if somebody
open
if
for
somebody wants to be a sponsor, yeah,
exactly.
we're
Who?
open for sponsorship. Yep.
Yeah, who would be an ideal sponsor
Same
for you?
here.
Um, really anybody and anybody. We're doing some work with some local real estate guys. But I would really love a cool, like a really neat sponsor, like a Tito's or I think that's a little bit in the works at the moment. But yeah, at the moment we're just searching for them, trying to figure out solutions and stuff. Like we'd love to have sponsors for all of our shows.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, cool. All right, that's it on my end. Soul Gravy, are you ready for the
I'm
big
ready.
important question?
Yep. All right. So this was a joke on episode 1. Now it is a requirement that we ask this question by popular demand. So Tyler, what is your favorite Little Debbie snack? I know that's hard hitting stuff, but that's what we do.
Oh man, are Cosmic Brownies a part of that chain, or is that?
Yes, they are.
Ooh, it's a Cosmic Brownie for sure.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Cosmic Brownie's kind of been on a hot run lately.
yeah. It's Miss Shelby Stone and Kanan Bryce.
Yeah.
And so
And I think our gentleman at the Cowboy, I think he said Cosmic Brownie as well.
So when you said dinner with Brent Cobb, this is why. Steve said, "Damn." All right.
It didn't come through very well, but I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Okay, go to my TikTok and watch the very first video. That's homework for everyone. I asked Brent Cobb, "What is your favorite Little Debbie snack?" And his reply was, "Damn."
Big question. I mean, zebra cakes were a close second, but
Yeah.
Cosmic Brownies are just accessible, easy, fast. Walk out the door with them.
Absolutely. Well, Tyler, we appreciate you taking time
guys.
to deal with our shenanigans. We're going to ask you to hang back with us for just a couple minutes, but folks, tune in next week. I just want to make sure I get this accurate before I sign off. So next Tuesday, I believe, is Jonathan Pennington. Is that correct? Soul Gravy, I believe.
Jonathan Payton.
Jonathan Payton, sorry.
Yep.
I was in the ballpark. Thank you for correcting.
That's okay.
And then Amanda Kate Ferris is going to be joining us on Wednesday. So come hang with us.
She's awesome.
She is. She is fantastic. So thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. Get yourself to Warren's. Go see a show.
All right. See you.
Yeah.
See y'all.
Thanks, guys.